Our challenge for all of our mobbing builds is, can we survive 400% content without dying? And I didn't think Esimo could do it, to be honest with you. We've been working on this build for a few days now. It is exciting to see that he's able to complete the dungeon without dying, and certainly doing a tremendous amount of burst damage to the bosses. When we look at these builds, we're not looking at speed necessarily, and certainly that's the case with Esimo. He's not going to do anything quickly here, but he can certainly get it done, and he can certainly do some tremendous burst damage on individual bosses or individual mini bosses. This is very clear in the build. If you want to do it quickly, do it in a group or grab yourself a Freyna. But if you want to see how strong Esimo can be on his own, then let's take a look at this build. Welcome to Two Ole Farts. We're going to jump right into the build as promised. Just going to talk a bit about Esimo and a mobbing build that we put together for him. This mobbing build is based on explosive evade. It spawns a guided landmine when rolling. Arguably, you could use any number of different mods with Esimo. This mod isn't making it anything special necessarily. It's just the one that we chose. I do think it's good here because when you're often rolling to get out of something, you're just putting something behind you there that can certainly explode on use of your second ability. So we'll kind of dive into that here as we go through it. But regarding the build, what we are focusing on here is maximizing his skill damage and maximizing his cooldown so that we can spam these abilities and just keep the damage coming. You can see from the gameplay that we've shown you already and the footage that we're rolling now that we're basically focused on our cooldown. We're focused on being able to just continually regenerate those skills so that we can continually damage the enemies with them. And this is the core behind this build, is being able to do that. I don't think any of the mods are going to come as necessarily as a surprise. Let's talk about the skills that we're using here. We are using the time bomb, which basically allows us to throw the skill any distance. It seems like it'll go forever. So you basically can throw this while you're aiming your gun, which is pretty cool. You can be shooting and throwing it at the boss, and then as soon as you're ready to detonate and just kill that mini boss or whatever it is that you're working on. Or you can spread them around the area like you see him doing in this graphic right here, and obviously then you're creating a zone. As soon as things walk into that zone, you detonate it with your second ability, right? So your second ability, stacks, all the items that you're throwing out. Your first ability, your third ability, and your fourth ability require you to trigger it using your second ability. So you can see that these are tech. The first and third are tech, and then our fourth ability is fusion. So our fourth ability in this particular case, I don't know why I said that, isn't tech and doesn't require stacking. That's we're charging towards the enemy, and then we can either wait till it runs out, or we can activate it again. So we hit it once to start running, hit it a second time to explode. It does a tremendous amount of damage. The rolling activity that I was talking about, that's what also is triggered by the second ability. So your first and your third, along with the rolling, which is from the explosive evade, will all be triggered by this second ability. So what are we doing to get that? So we want to get it as quick as we can, or regenerate those skills as quick as we can. So skill cooldown is a major focus here. We're using nimble fingers and obviously MP conversion, both of which give us a tremendous amount of cooldown. We are focusing on tech to get some more cooldown and focusing on fire. You could opt for some more damage and use a different mod here, but I do feel like this is a strong use of his abilities here. And then tech amplification, because we have no critical hit with him. I think his critical hit rate is 5% or less on base, so there's no point in speccing into it. So we are using tech amplification and fire amplification in this case, because we're not going to get critical hits anyway. So might as well maximize the amount of fire skill and tech skill that we can do. And then, to make a build a little bit more comfortable so that we're able to continually spam those and not run out of mana, we are using MP Collector. If you're running in a group, you might opt out for something else here. Let's see, MP, I'm trying to remember, Energy Collector. My energy collection might give you, more more mana on the ground to pick up, so this is a good option for you as well. We're using increased HP and stem accelerant just to give us some more survivability, because I found when I was running this originally without stem accelerant, I was dying every now and then. I was able to complete 400% content by adding this mod. So I do think that this gives you the survivability you need. Is this as strong or as fast as running Blair, for instance, or certainly like a Freyna or even a Valby? I don't think so. I think it's fun. It's different. It's a different build. It's fun to have, and it is survivable. So you can certainly solo the content with it, but it's not as quick. So I'm not going to try and sell it as being that. Skill effect range. This bumps us up to being able to hit the maximum. So certainly no issue there. We are getting a tremendous amount of range with this mod, and you can see that it's covering most of the map. It is maxing out, pretty close to maxing out anyway. When you look at once you activate your skills, we were able to get 200%, and we're at just under that 200%. Here you can see explosive damage range is 6 meters. It's boosted to 11.5 meters. 12 meters would be your 200% max range, so it's pretty close. Anything else is going to be marginally better. Most of it's going to go over, so no point in extending the range any further. So this is a good setup, right? So these are the mods. Let's jump into the rest of the build here and talk about some of the other decisions that we made. The first of which is going to be the reactor. Clearly, the reactor that we've chosen here is a burning mechanics reactor because it's fire and tech. If you were really trying to focus on the fourth ability, which I'm not in this particular case, you could opt for fusion perhaps, but this is where we went. So fire skill and fusion skill are on the bottom part. So I am getting a little bit of a fusion boost for his fourth ability using the stats on the bottom there. So we rolled Enduring Legacy and Secret Garden on there. I'll talk about why as we get into the rest of the build here. The Fallen Hope just came on it, not exactly the best choice, obviously. In terms of the components, I think you've got some options here. I mean, I've chosen to go with Slayer because I'm using Enduring Legacy quite a bit. That gives me more general round capacity. I'm obviously focusing on HP here. This isn't the best role. You might, opt for something different, certainly. And then Volcanic is the other one because it is a fire skill that we're using here. So we are focusing on fire skill power. This gives us a boost to that. MP and MP recovery and combat are important for this build. So we are trying to maximize that as much as we can. As you can see from the next MP recovery and then shield recovery with max MP. So survivability was a bit of a concern in this particular build, so I did start focusing on that. Toxic resistance isn't necessarily the best role here. We could look for another shield boost, but max HP is a good addition to the role there. So let's talk about the weapons real quick. So the first weapon here that we want to talk about is Secret Garden. Obviously we chose this because we're using our tech abilities. We're spamming our tech abilities. That gives us the pest control boost here, which is a trigger rate of 50%, duration of 10 seconds, and a max stacks of 3. So when you're hitting your first or your third ability, you'll see that stack start to happen. And then when you open fire, when you got 3, you open fire, your trigger rate is 50%, duration is 10 seconds, and you're getting a boost to firearm ATK and skill power both. So as you're throwing your skills and shooting your weapon, you're getting both of those bonuses. So you don't even have to shoot the weapon; just carrying it as your primary is enough to boost that skill power. So definitely a good synergy for him. When we talk about Enduring Legacy, it's just simply a powerful weapon. But again, it is a weapon that we want to take advantage of the fire abilities with, because he is a fire descendant here. Then we can look at the unique ability. On hitting an enemy, increases status effect trigger rate corresponding to the elements of fire, chill, electric, toxic. So it's boosting those abilities, quenching to the target's enemy on hit. Hitting a burned enemy increases firearm ATK, and apply this buff to the attack. So we're getting more firearm boost, 11% firearm boost, as long as they're inflicted with burn. So since we're throwing fire, the gun is throwing fire. You've got it set to to the fire ability, then you're going to get that boost, you know. So this is a really good synergy for him as well. So I do recommend these two as a pairing for him. You know, obviously you're getting a lot better results from Secret Garden, but if you need to switch to something like Enduring Legacy so you have a bit more ammo, this is good. And then, you know, the Perforator is just an extra bonus. I love the way the bombs explode on that now, so I've been playing with it a little bit. It's good fun. So this is the build. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.